India's energy story? Yeah, it's massive, messy, and fast changing. An increasing consumer demand for energy is only set to grow in the future.
But it's also one of the biggest clean energy hope stories.
India's going big on solar. Really big.
We are talking the 5th largest solar capacity in the world. Acres of sun-soaked nothingness, now a solar powerhouse the size of a small city. Wind? India's got that too, over 40 gigawatts and climbing. In just a decade, renewables went from a footnote to almost 40% of installed power. It's not just mega projects. One of the biggest players in this clean energy push, Tata Power.
Tata Power. Sustainable is attainable.
India's already feeling the heat, literally. More floods, deadly heat waves, climate change isn't the future, it's right now. That's why India is turning to clean energy, not just as a solution, but as a necessity. Okay, here's a big picture. The planet has already warmed up by about 1.2 degrees Celsius since the industrial era began. And if we don't act fast, we are on track to hit 2.5 to 3 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. Now here's the challenge. India's energy demand is booming, projected to double by 2040. Why? Because it's trying to lift millions out of poverty and fuel one of the fastest growing economies on the planet. But right now, over 70% of that energy still comes from fossil fuels. So how does India fit into the global climate puzzle? Well, it's aiming big. 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel energy by 2030. That's nearly half of India's total energy capacity, powered by sun, wind, and innovation. And this transition is driven by 3 key pillars. Number 1, combating climate change. Number 2, ensuring energy security. And number 3, driving economic growth. This isn't just about tech. It's about 1.4 billion people reimagining their future.
India has an ambition of adding 500 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030. We want to add around 20 gigawatt in next 4 to 5 years, which is 4 gigawatt or 5 gigawatt a year. So in terms of strategy, we are doing large projects, we are doing rooftop projects.
Tata Power solar engineered a floating solar plant right in the middle of the Narmada River's twin reservoirs. It's a first of its kind solar plant in India where innovation and clean energy all come together and float.
In the heart of Madhya Pradesh, where 2 mighty dams hold the sacred waters of the Narmada, a quiet revolution is afloat. The Omkareshwar floating solar plant isn't just a technical marvel. It's a project that's deeply personal for everyone who built it.
Omkareshwar is very close to our heart. It's a pioneering project for India. It's a very large-scale floating project. Since we are there into hydro operations for last 115 years now, so we exactly know what reservoir operation means, and we have used that experience here also.
Floating solar involves installing solar panels on water bodies instead of land. They rest on pontoons over the reservoir.
We can conserve the land, no need to deforest the area for making such a huge plant. And secondly, the thing is that we will have overheating of panels. Or the plant, when it gets panels get overheated, their lifespan will go down, efficiency will go down. Whereas in floating, they will have instant cooling effect. The difference of the temperature is where we will get the electricity extracted.
फ्लोटिंग पानी के ऊपर होने की वजह से जो पैनल का सरफेस है वो 260 हेक्टेयर है, जिसकी वजह से जो इवोपरेशन होता है वाटर का वो भी सेव हो रहा है। उसके हिसाब से जो हमारे कैलकुलेशन है अराउंड 30.5 मिलियन टन मीटर वाटर हम लोगों ने इवोपरेशन से सेव करेंगे। और जो ग्राउंड माउंटिंग है उसमें एल्बिडो इफेक्ट नहीं मिलता है। एल्बिडो इफेक्ट मीन्स जो रेडिएशन वाटर में जा रहा है या अर्थ में जा रहा है वो रिफ्लेक्ट होकर मॉड्यूल पे दोबारा आता है और वहाँ से भी हम लोग एनर्जी जनरेट कर रहे हैं।
Backed by an investment of rupees 319 crores, this 126 megawatt power plant has become one of India's largest floating solar installations, commissioned in just 26 months.
We have used around 2 lakh modules there, which are bifacial modules. So that way these modules are class 1 modules.
Bifacial panels capture sunlight from both sides. When paired with water reflections, their efficiency rises even further, making them ideal for floating arrays. But building on water isn't easy. The Omkareshwar team faced terrain challenges, shifting water levels, and unpredictable weather.
The changing water levels makes it very difficult for anchoring and mooring requirements for this floating solar, because the floating solar has to remain at one location, it can't drift. So that anchoring and mooring for varying water level was a challenge which our engineers have solved at using technology.
Because of the terrain, landscape, whatever the wind used to come becomes turbulent over here. So when we tow some panels or when we tow some IFP, they used to get, we used to have more boat capacities to tow it in a single direction. There were a lot of people getting involved. Geographically, our Tata team were there in Mumbai, Bangalore, but we all got united to extract the solutions for whatever problems comes in day-to-day construction activities.
The floating islands, each comprising 9,600 panels, are stabilized with mooring systems, wave breakers, ballast anchors, and adaptive cableways.
Each array we have 9,600 panels, and those panels of rectangular shape are interconnected with the anchors. So those anchors and mooring ropes are the prime foundations to keep it floating for 25 years.
At 260 hectares, it's the world's largest inverter floating platform. The Omkareshwar floating solar plant not only delivers over 200 gigawatt-hour of clean energy to the grid every year, it also conserves land and water. While offsetting nearly 174,000 tons of carbon dioxide. But maintaining a plant of this scale isn't as straightforward as its impact. On land, it's relatively easy to walk up to a solar panel, check a connection, or spot an anomaly. But out here, on floating platforms spread across a shifting reservoir, it's a whole different ballgame. Spotting and fixing faults means using boats and braving wind and water.
और यहाँ पे हम लोग का फ्लोटिंग में क्या है, जो फॉल्ट आता है उसको आइडेंटिफाई करना एक हमारे लिए चैलेंज है, क्योंकि ना जो हमारा पैनल लगा हुआ है वो बहुत डाउन स्ट्रीम है, मतलब वो जो वाटर बॉडी का क्लियरेंस उसमें है वो ओनली 60 mm है। तो वहाँ पे जाके फॉल्ट फाइंड आउट करना और उसको रेक्टिफाई करना तो हमारे लिए थोड़ा चैलेंज है। टीम उसके ऊपर उनको ट्रेन किया गया है, वो कैसे उसको आइडेंटिफाई करना है, उसको रेक्टिफाई कैसे करना है।
That's where the SCADA system comes in, tracking performance string by string and flagging issues before they escalate. This isn't just a solar project. It's a story of vision, resilience, and unity.
When you have a lot of learnings in one particular site, that site becomes so close to heart. So this is such a site which gave a lot of learning to a lot of people who worked for this project.
As India races to meet its growing demand for power, projects like this show how clean energy can be smart, scalable, and sustainable. Omkareshwar sets a new benchmark, not just for what renewable energy infrastructure can be, but for what it must be.
Tata Power. Sustainable is attainable. Tata Power. Sustainable is attainable.
With scale comes responsibility. The big question is, how do we make sure India's clean energy transition is not just fast, but fair? Solar's huge, but wind? It's just as powerful. Take Pulavadi Wind Farm in Tamil Nadu, a massive cutting-edge project.
The wind wakes early in Pulavadi. So do the people who chase it. Here in the southern part of Tamil Nadu, 66 wind turbines stand tall like quiet sentinels. Together, they generate 99 megawatts of clean power. Enough to light up an entire village, keep streetlights on, and power up homes, schools, and clinics.
So Tata Power did this 99 megawatt Pulavadi project in Tamil Nadu, and that project we are today operating at a very excellent operating parameters. 1,200 technicians deployed again, they were trained. The execution was planned so beautifully. Every time we have analyzed the risk and accordingly developed the safety measures and deployed them, constantly monitoring of those safety measures and ensuring that there is absolutely no harm to anybody.
Inside a turbine, it's quiet. Just the hum of power flowing through steel. You climb 80 to 85 meters up, past ladders, cables, and narrow platforms until you're eye to eye with the blades. It's here that the work is done. Sensors inspected, breathers examined, vacuum circuit breaker checked. You feel the wind from inside the machine that's capturing it. Here's how a wind turbine actually works. The blades catch wind, spin the rotor, and feed into a gearbox that drives the generator, and the electricity flows straight to the grid. Pulavadi sits in a prime wind corridor of southern Tamil Nadu, shaped by the Palghat Gap, where the geography does half the work. Rolling hills funnel strong seasonal winds through the valleys. At peak, wind speeds here touch 40 to 48 kilometers per hour, enough to power giant turbines. On the ground, teams work through thornless shrub shifting weather and live power line.
ஆக்சுவலாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ நாங்கள் டாடா சைட்லேருந்து நியூலி ஒரு சேஃப்டி ஸ்டிக்கு நாங்கள் பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ணி எம்ப்ளாய்க்கு கொடுத்துருக்கோம். அது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எனி எலக்ட்ரிக்கல் ஷாக்லேருந்து அவங்கள ப்ரிவென்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்காண்டி கொடுத்துருக்கோம். அதுக்கடுத்து நாங்கள் ஓல்டேஜ் டிடெக்டர் வாங்கி கொடுத்துருக்கோம். அது பார்த்திங்கன்னா நம்ம சேஃப்டி ஹெல்மெட்லேயே அப்படி ஸ்டிக் பண்ணுற மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஏதாவது எம்ப்ளாயி இப்போ ஆன்லைவ் லைனில் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறாங்க, அந்த டயத்தில் அதில் சப்ளை இருக்கா இல்லையா அது எல்லாத்தையுமே அது டிடெக்ட் பண்ணி காமிச்சிடும்.
Wind is unpredictable. So the control team monitors every turbine in real time. If something's off, like moisture spike, gear heat, voltage drop, they know it before it becomes a problem. The electricity from Pulavadi reaches villages scattered across this windy plateau, where power cuts were once routine and darkness fell long before night.
புலவாடி சைட்டில் மொத்தம் 11 பஞ்சாயத்து இருக்குது. நம்ம கரண்ட் சப்ளை கொடுக்குறோம். அப்புறம் லோக்கல் வில்லேஜஸ் நம்ம பார்த்திங்கன்னா லாட் ஆஃப் ஒர்க்ஸ்க்கு நம்ம இன்வால்வ் பண்ணுறோம். லைக் டிக்கிங், மேஜர் ஒர்க் அண்ட் ஹெல்பிங் அண்டு பார்த்திங்கன்னா பாட்டம் சப்போர்ட்டுக்கு.
What makes this place special, it's not just the power it generates. It's the resilience, the community, and the care with which it's all held together.
Big projects like Pulavadi Wind Farm are vital, powering cities and meeting India's massive renewable goals. But here's the thing, not all clean energy needs to come from mega infrastructure. Enter group captive solar projects. They flip the script. Group captive solar plants are proving that clean energy can be local, affordable, and truly transformative.
Just outside the town of Akkalkot, in Maharashtra's Solapur district, lies a sea of sunshine. A solar farm stretching over 100 acres that's quietly powering the future. This is Tata Power's Akkalkot Group captive plant. A 100% renewable energy solution designed to meet the needs of industries without compromising the planet.
So Akkalkot Solar Park is a first group captive solar park developed by the Tata Power Renewable Energy. This is a 120 megawatt solar park. The plant is spread across 689 acres of land.
Unlike a regular solar farm, this one's built on collaboration. Let's break it down. A group captive is a solar plant where the consumers are also the owners. Multiple companies come together to invest in and co-own a renewable energy project. Captive consumer invests 26% of equity and consumes 51% of the power generated under group captive model. But this story isn't just about companies and carbon savings.
There are multiple villages which are in vicinity of this solar park. And we have comprehensive corporate social responsibility programs to uplift their livelihoods across the villages. So we also provide the employment to the villagers to expose themselves in the industries.
Meet Samarth, born and raised in a village just 5 kilometers away. He once worked in a factory 300 kilometers from home. Now, thanks to this project, he's back where he belongs.
मैं इन्वर्टर मेंटेनेंस, सेसिव मेंटेनेंस ये पूरा काम करता हूँ. मैं इधर गांव में नौकरी करता हूँ. अच्छा काम मिला है गांव में और 4 पैसे बच रहे हैं.
The project has generated direct employment, promoted skill development, and enabled reverse migration while keeping the plant running with top-tier efficiency.
आपल्या गावामध्ये जे 20-22 वर्षाचे मुलं आहेत त्यांना बाहेर जावं लागत होतं शिक्षणासाठी. अक्कलकोटच्या बाहेर जावं लागत होतं. टाटा सोलरमध्ये खूप चांगल्या प्रकारे त्यांना जॉब मिळत आहे. त्यांना गाव सोडून कुठे जाता येईना. आई वडील ज्यांचं जे घरदार आहे त्यांना न सोडता इथे सगळ्या प्रकारे त्यांना काम करून राहण्यात यश आलेलं आहे. त्यांना बाहेर जायची गरज नाही.
A solar plant may run on sunlight, but at Akkalkot, it also runs on the strength of its community.
Though this is a group captive site, doesn't mean that it is only benefiting the corporates, but simultaneously it is benefiting a lot to the community. पर कैपिटा इनकम की बात करेंगे इस एरिया का बहुत कम है. तो अलग अलग CSR के इनिशिएटिव्स के माध्यम से इन लोगों का पर कैपिटा इनकम कैसे बढ़ाए, इसलिए पहले हमने फोकस किया स्वयं सहायता समूह के महिलाओं के ऊपर.
In one part of the village, a group of women are stitching not just clothes, but new futures. They've been trained in tailoring with orders coming in from nearby towns.
अनोखा धागाच्या माध्यमातून व टाटा पॉवरच्या ह्यांच्या माध्यमातून आम्हाला विविध ठिकाणी नेऊन प्रशिक्षण दिलं. मग त्या प्रशिक्षणाच्या माध्यमातूनच आम्ही शिवण क्लासचं हे प्रशिक्षण निवडून आता शिवण क्लास म्हणजे 2-4 पैसे मिळवत आहे मी घरी बसून. गावात सुद्धा माझं अस्तित्व चांगल्या ह्याच्यानं ओळखत आहेत. हे रुपाली पद्धत काय होती बाबा आता काय झाली असं लोकांना वाटत आहे.
Nearby, another group of women are hand-making traditional snacks like sevaiya and pappars and selling them. Akkalkot sits in a semi-arid zone where water is a lifeline. Tata Power's support has been instrumental in our watershed treatment initiatives, yielding a substantial rise in the water table. Moreover, the Adhikar initiative has empowered beneficiaries by enrolling them in multiple government entitlements.
जे पावसाच्या निसर्गाच्यावर जेवढा अवलंबून आहे तेवढंच करतो आम्ही. निसर्गच बंद झाला की सगळं बंद झालं. टाटा पॉवरने नाला बेडिंग झाल्या, मातीकाम झाल्यामुळे पाणी साचल्यामुळं मला बी पाणी साचल्यामुळं मला बोर मारायची वेळ आली. त्यात मशीन पण मंजूर झाली होती. त्यांनी थोडं सहकार्य केले, त्याच्यामुळं ते यशस्वी होऊन गेलं. थोडं गहू घातलं, थोडंफार शेंगा घातलं तर चाललं व्यवस्थित.
Alongside water, farmers are gaining knowledge from testing soil to planning crops better, so every season yields more. For children, a mobile lab on 2 wheels brings the joy of learning right to their doorsteps. From physics experiments to biology models, this lab on bike initiative makes science fun.
एक सेपरेट टीचर आते हैं जो पूरी लैब जैसे बाइक पे लेके आते हैं। जब सर सिखाते हैं तो टाइम बहुत जल्दी जाता है, हमें लगता है कि ब्रेक नहीं चाहिए, हमें और सीखने को मिले तो बहुत अच्छा होगा। और सर जो सिखाते हैं एक्सप्लेनेशन के साथ सिखाते हैं, जिसकी वजह से हमें बहुत अच्छे से समझ जाता है।
From clean energy to clean opportunities, from sun-powered grids to self-empowered people, the Akkalkot Group captive plant is more than a power project. This is what transformation looks like.
This is what the future looks like. Floating solar plants on rivers, wind turbines on ridgelines, rooftop panels on rural schools. Clean energy that works for everyone. In this future, Tata Power isn't just keeping up, they are leading the charge. By collaborating with partners, empowering local communities, and enabling businesses through innovative models. It's happening right here, across India. And this is just the beginning.
Tata Power. Sustainable is attainable.